If you have not subscribed, please do that. So I make a lot of educational video about trading and whatnot, so you will get up to date. Anyway, let's get started. Today's topics, I want to talk about one of the strategy which made almost $2 million to Nicholas in 1950, 1960, when the years we didn't had any computers. Like, he used exact this method to make up $2 million. So I'm gonna kind of talk about that $2 million, what his technical analysis was. And I have a stock which is kind of making that pattern. He used that same pattern in different stocks, but I'm gonna talk about that. But let's get started with today was a great day. So if you guys are not subscribed to my Facebook and Twitter, please do that, link in the bio. Why I say was because yesterday I alerted everybody. I posted a chart saying if Tesla goes all-time high, cause I like these sort of patterns where kind of stock bounce back and kind of comes back and break that all-time high. For example, it did the same exactly same patterns when it broke 503, and it exactly did. So we had that 600 touch on November 30. Then it kind of sold off, then kind of up and down, kind of gap down, then sold off, and we're kind of doing that, and it was struggling to bridge that 600 labels. And finally, man, I mean, then it broke that label today. And I told, if you got in today, like my was all-time high was 606 or something, 607. So if you got in like 607, 6010, you could have just out kind of got out at maybe 20, 25, or if you're lucky, 40, 45. But again, it's really hard to pick it a top, but you should be at least a 15, 20 points. So that would be a couple $1,000 trade right there. And I actually posted that a couple times in my Twitter as well. As you can go back and see my Twitter, it should be there. Again, now let's get started, right? Now let's get started. So yeah, this looks really good. That's why I don't like to enter right when I'm here or here, but I like it when it just kind of break that resistance. Like, good risk reward, right? You can even have a stop right here. Where you gonna put a stop? Like, maybe you can do it here, but it's all over the places. But here you can just get that 607, 608 break, and just below that maybe 600 or something. So you can lose a couple hundreds and make like a couple thousand. So that's a good risk reward. So, but today I'm gonna talk about the patterns I said, which is called a box pattern. So this is in crowd. So basically a lot of people's, right? uh, the heck? Okay. That's interesting. I had a lot of my I had a lot of my all the support and resistance labels, and they were kind of gone. That's why I was surprised. But it's a good time. So we can draw it right here and kind of see it. So if you look at that crowd, right? So it bottomed out 34, and from then it has been steadily rising, rising, rising. Really good stocks. They had a great earnings. Kind of sold off in their previous earnings. I think there was a huge expectations from the Zoom didn't had, but again, this earning they crushed it and really good. Now if you look at that, this was just a COVID dip. All the stock had it. Now they bounce back to 60, 65 levels, and from there it's just been flying. But if you look at this, uh, after this COVID, it made this range, right? That it found a good support around that 90 to 93. So we're gonna make it uh, support right here. I guess this is good. Even better, it deleted, so kind of you guys know. So this is basically support. Why support? These are the lows, right? These are low point, these are low points. Kind of try to touch it, didn't touch quite, but this was a low, right? This is the support. Now what was it? Resistance was basically, if you look at that, this is resistance, this is resistance, and seems like this was a resistance which kind of broke through it, and it also acted as a support, right? So that was its resistance, and which has been a support ever since, right? See, if you look at that one thing, so there's a called Nicholas, a great guy. He was a dancer, dancers and kind of traveling the whole world, and he made a lot of money in stock market. I think he made a couple $1 million within a few years. And this was an age when they did not have all this chart, they did not have all the quotes. They have to mail the quotes every day. You would just get, you won't get all the minutes ticker, right? You'll get like open, high, low. That's all. That's all you have basically, right? You will get basically like a candle you will get, so you could chart it, but there was no softwares, and a lot of time it was delayed. You will get after 2 3 days. And he was traveling, but what he was doing after doing a lot of research, a lot of studies, what he did was, for good stocks, right? For good stocks in the short terms, it's really hard to tell. But if you look at that, if a stocks kind of bounces around these ranges and then it break off this other ranges, it make boxes. So basically what he means is, let's say you got in like let's say you got in stock around here, right? Since the box is bottomed out at 93, you should not be selling if it goes up to 93. You will only sell if it goes below the boxes, right? So this is your support. So if it goes below this, you should be selling, otherwise you will be holding it. And if it advances a new boxes, that's a good time to actually add in. And for this new purchase, you can get set your stop loss right below this, right? For here examples, if it goes right here, you could have set your set stop loss right here. You need to always give a little bit of room, but think about it. If you give it 88 $88 a stop loss, 87 88, yeah, 88, in fact it never touch it, 88 it never touch it, and you got in at 93. So you've been riding this, right? You are not selling it. It's not stopped out, right? You are not selling it, you are holding it. Now it makes to another channel. This is a good time to add in. You don't you can add in on the support again, but it's just like if it goes below your you need to be disciplined. Basically, if it goes below your boxes, you just sell it out. Otherwise, this is a great box, it's working, right? Now it's enhancing the new box, and if you look at that, exactly that's what it's doing. Look at this now. So if you look at, our first box was basically between 93 and 120, 118, 120, right? Do you always need to give couple dollar room? But basically if it's 92, if it's within that range, that's good, that's good, that's good, cause stock never goes straight up, it just goes in a cycle. And this was a good box, right? Now it moved from this box to this box within a few days, from 20 to 52. Great air. That's why I was telling a lot of people to get in around 120, and few people get in too. But you can see that, right? 19 to 20, it's making another box, another box, another box, right? Almost from August to September, October, November, December, almost 3 months. So basically, it was in this range for 3 months. It was in this range for 3 months. Now see what happened with the earnings. They had a great earnings, and look at the volume, really good volumes, and boom, within a few days it again in going to the other box. And if the history of any uh, um, if history tells us anything, it tells us from 90 to 120, that's $30. From 120 to 150, that's $30. So each box is about $30, right? So I'm expecting it's probably gonna be within the 30 range, and actually we are already from 50 to 60 70, right? So almost 20, so maybe we'll get to 80 and probably kind of channel. So it's a, maybe we'll just kind of channel around, right? So this is again, this is one stock examples I just saw, that's why I wanted to. But you need to find this, probably you can see in hundreds of stocks, like maybe there's thousands of stocks, so you can look into it and look at that. If it's making some channels and kind of moving forward and making another box and moving forward, that's a good sign. It's making higher highs and lower lows. If you look at the longer terms, it's advancing, a lot of interest. There's a good catalyst, like really strong, like cloud stocks, cyber security stocks, so a lot of good things happening, right? So that's why I just wanted to let you know. If you have any question or comment, let me know. Other than that, have fun, have a great week. Thanks.